I'm Richard Clarke. I record these talks every day as a way to deepen my inquiry. Listen each day and deepen your own practice. Welcome. I'm reviewing and commenting on the book Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Today is from Talk 354, Part 5. Maharshi, later still. There are direct routes to Tiruvannamalai, but Tiruvannamalai is the same by whichever route it is gained. Similarly, the approach to the subject varies according to the personality, yet the self is the same. But still, being in Tiruvannamalai, if one asks for the route, it is ridiculous. So also, being the self, if one asks how to realize the self, it looks absurd. You are the self. Remain as the self. That is all. The questions arise because of the present wrong identification of the self with the body. That is ignorance. This must go. On its removal, the self alone is. In this talk, Ramana Maharshi uses an analogy to convey the essence of self-realization and the nature of the self. Ramana starts by likening the journey to self-realization to the various routes one might take to reach Tiruvannamalai, the sacred place where he lives and a place of spiritual pilgrimage. He points out that despite the different paths you might follow, the destination remains the same, Tiruvannamalai. Similarly, seekers approach self-realization in different ways based on their personalities and inclinations. However, regardless of these varied approaches, the destination, the self, remains unchanged. Ramana then continues the analogy, suggesting that the seeker, while actually in Tiruvannamalai, but is seeking directions to get there. Ramana says that when you are at the destination, asking for directions is absurd. Likewise, once you recognize yourself as the self, asking how to realize the self appears nonsensical. I think this refers to continuing the practices used in the journey. He emphasizes that you are the self, that the seeker and what is sought are one and the same. It is the knowledge essence of practice that brings the self-knowledge from which realization blooms. Ramana says that practice is no longer needed, but looking at what he did with his life, he continued selfless service, he continued deep devotion, he continued silence, only it was the silence of being, not the mental silence of, say, meditation. All this was being, not doing. Ramana highlights that the fundamental problem for seekers lies in the incorrect identification of the self with the physical body. This misidentification leads to ignorance, avidya, where the self is obscured by the illusion of individuality and separateness. The removal of this ignorance is crucial. It is removed by knowledge, not mental knowledge, but self-knowledge. When this ignorance is dispelled, only the self remains, pure, infinite, and beyond all limitations. Ramana's instruction is simple yet profound. Remain as the self. This advice encapsulates the essence of his teaching, self-inquiry and abidance in your true nature. By realizing that you are not the body, but rather you are the eternal self, you transcend the need for complex techniques or methods. The questions about how to realize the self rise from the ignorance, the false identification with the body-mind complex, which perpetuates the illusion of separation. Ramana Maharshi's teachings provide the direct path to self-realization, realizing your true nature as the unchanging, ever-present self by discarding false identifications and abiding in the awareness of pure existence. This self-knowledge brings the dissolution of ignorance and the direct experience of the self as the reality of existence. So inquire, know yourself, and be always free and at peace. The book, Who Am I with Comments, is my take on these early teachings of Ramana Maharshi. It's available on Amazon, free to Kindle subscribers. A link is in the video notes. These videos bring Ramana's teachings into your direct experience. Click subscribe to see more. Click thumbs up to like, and send questions and start a dialogue with a comment